Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about interfaces inside Java. So what an interface is it basically uh, makes a class follow a certain set of methods, and that is it. Um, you may be saying, I don't know why I would want my class to only follow a certain set of methods, but I'll explain right now. So let's say I have my normal project. Inside my project, all I have is a main method, right? And I want to create a car class. In fact, I want to create like a million cars. I want to create a Hyundai, I want to create an Acura, I want to create a Saab, I want to create all these cars. Um, so it might get relatively unorganized really quickly. Now you know that, of course, what we can do is we can just create a class that extends our custom car class. However, the thing about extending is that you don't know which methods belong to the car class and you don't know which methods belong to um, the custom car you're making. So how do we ensure that we're only calling very specific methods for individual cars? So, of course, this entire explanation sounds extremely confusing, and that's fine. That's what I'm going to explain by showing you. So let's start by creating a new interface. So if I hover over New on my default package and select Interface, this menu comes up. Now, what do we want to name this? Let's, for example, name this interface Car. Now, we want every single car to follow a certain set of rules. We want every single car to have the ability to accelerate, and we want it to have a certain speed that we want to accelerate to, certain meters per second squared. And you'll notice that I'm not doing curly brackets like you normally would when defining a method. That's the thing about interfaces is they're kind of different. Um, interfaces allow you to create methods that every car that implements this interface will accept. So for example, I want every car to have the ability to accelerate. I also want every car to have the ability to pull its brake. And I want every car to have the ability to turn their wheel. Okay, so here we have our interface car, which basically specifies whatever class implements me will have the ability to accelerate, pull brake, and turn their wheel. Okay, simple as that. So, how do we do that? Let's create another class. So let's right click on our default package and create a class. And let's name this something like any car you want. So for example, I'm going to name this Acura, just because I barely know any cars and that's one of them I know. And now we have our Acura class. So we want this Acura class to take all the methods of a normal car. So how we do that is we tell it to implement our car interface. So that specifies Acura to only take care to inherit all the methods of a normal car. So if you look at your class now, it's going to show your Acura class title underlined in red because you have not implemented their required methods. The thing about interfaces is that they require you to have methods. You can't just, implement a class and then ignore all the required methods. So the way we do this is we press Add Unimplemented Methods. And now we have this. So when we do this, Eclipse or whatever you're using will probably automatically generate the methods that you're going to implement. So now we have the accelerate, pull brake, and turn wheel methods that are inside our class. So why is this important? The whole point of interfaces is it helps you organize your code. So if I now go to my main class and method, I can create a new car. Now, normally when you create a class, you're always typing Acura my car equals new Acura, right? Now, right now, this actually works very well, and you can do that, but that takes away the power of interfaces. So the power of interfaces actually comes by setting the object to a type of car. So this may seem relatively silly. Why would I want to, write car in front of my variable and set it equal to new Acura? That I've never learned that before because you're normally used to writing class type here and the same class type here. But that's where interfaces come in. So now I can type my car dot accelerate, pull brake, or turn wheel. However, let's say, well, actually, let's just do that right now. Let's type accelerate, and let's say I want to accelerate by 40 meters per second squared. Okay, that'll do that. Now, let's say I add a new method to my Acura class. Public void, oh, I don't know. What do cars do? Sure, just slow down. This is just an example method. Of course, we already have accelerate, but whatever. So let's say I created a new method called slow down. If I go to my main method and I type my car dot slow down, you'll notice that it doesn't work. And the reason is because the method slow down isn't defined for the type of car, which is an interface. Because if I go to my car interface, there's no slow down method. However, I can access the slow down method by typing Acura and then another car, for example, is equal to a new Acura. Now I can type another dot slow down because this is a type of Acura rather than a type of car. And then if I go to my car dot accelerate, I still have the ability to access those methods that are inside the interface. So what's an example of this actually being used? There's actually plenty of interfaces inside Java already built in. I'm trying to think of a few example ones. I think graphics is one of them, maybe? Nope. Paint. Anyway, there's a bunch of interfaces in Java. For example, Paint. And now I can add the implemented paint methods like this. So for example, this implementation in Java for Paint has a method called getTransparency and createContext. So if I wanted to use paint methods, all I would have to do is type paint my paint equals new Acura, which of course, right now we have a car, but this is just an example. And then I can import paint. And I can type my paint dot create context, get transparency. But the reason for this is that certain methods in Java or certain classes in Java will require you to have a class of a specific interface to work. So the reason for that is if I wanted to access my Acura class from another class and I wanted to interact with it, I would have to ensure that my Acura class had those required, accelerate and brake methods. Because if it didn't have those, I might end up breaking my program if I tried to call them. So the whole point of interfaces is to ensure safety and organization in Java. So right now, if you're an early programmer, you may not be using interfaces too much, but once your code starts becoming relatively complex, interfaces definitely come in handy because they allow you to call various different methods all throughout your entire program, along with initializing different objects. So that's kind of it for interfaces right now. So you may not exactly see use for them right now, but trust me, as someone who's kind of had a lot of experience with Java, I can definitely say that interfaces come in handy quite often when you have like 100 classes just thrown throughout your program. So definitely check them out. Play around with them a little bit. They may seem a little bit tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of them. And there's a lot of cool features about interfaces that are just kind of thrown about throughout the language. So definitely check that out. But that's it for this, and I will see you in the next tutorial.